Good morning. My name is Brian Lodato, and the article that I did my presentation on was called Jobless Claims Drop Slightly, Trade Gap Surges. It was found on Forbes.com. The main issues in this article were that the number of new applications for unemployment compensation has been declining due to the slowing economy, but not as much as economists had expected, and the U.S. trade deficit has reached a 16-month high. What is unemployment? In order to be considered unemployed in the United States, you have to be without work, able to work, and seeking work. So you can't not have a job and not be looking for work and still be considered unemployed. Those people are called discouraged workers. Unemployment compensation is money that's paid from the U.S. government to people who are unemployed. Under the Internal Revenue Code, it's considered a social welfare benefit, and it's included in a taxpayer's gross income. Unemployment applications. As I said before, the article talked about the number of new applications declining. That's people who have not applied for unemployment compensation before. It was expected to drop to 440,000, but it only fell by 6,000 to 445. Economists consider any number over 400,000 to be an indication of a slowing economy. Last year, the number was only around 322,000, so you can see the difference between last year and this year. As far as people who were unemployed before and had applied for compensation and are applying again, the number is 3.5 million. The 4-week average rose to 3.43 million, which is the highest in 5 years. The Labor Department also reported that the unemployment rate is 6.1%, which is also the highest it's been in 5 years. A lot of people are losing their jobs due to the slowing economy. The Labor Department reported 84,000 people have been laid off in the last month, bringing the year total to 605,000. Economists predict the number could even reach 1 million by the end of this year. People losing their jobs results in decreased consumer spending. People don't have the money to spend, and the money that they do spend, they're trying to save it as much as possible. So that in turn weakens the economy. The second part of the article talked about the current trade deficit that we're in. Trade deficit is simply when the United States imports more goods than it exports. It's the opposite of a trade surplus, negative balance of trade. It's a big issue with the current economy. The high oil prices this summer made the trade deficit reach a 16-month high, totaling $62.2 billion. So that's a difference in the monetary difference between our imports and exports. It's up 5.7% from June. It was only expected to reach $58.8 billion. That's a big difference between what was expected and what it actually is. The oil prices began to fall in August, which helped the imported goods to lower its percent to the lowest in 20 years. There was a 12.8% drop in oil, 3.7% drop in overall imported goods. So that's all the goods that come into our country. The price was dropped by 3.7%. And that factor helps the economy, and that it reduces inflation, and it allows the Fed to maintain interest rates where they are. So that's about it.
Brian, why was this topic of particular interest to you?
I'm an econ major.
Yeah, I know that.
That's about it.
Really?
Yeah.
So are you concerned about the jobless claims, or do you feel that the numbers were massaged for this particular quarter?
I think it's an issue, but it's good that it's going down. But
Did they talk about what happened to the discouraged workers?
no, there was no mention of discouraged workers in there at all.
Yeah, that could be the other half of it.
Right, right.
Are there any other questions for Brian? Okay, now you can let him off the hook. Thank you.